All right, so I decided to go live here for a little bit after a very long day of working with clients. But man, come on. I can't not jump in on this Trump Musk thing because I'm not having a show tomorrow. And I just feel like, as a content creator, it's kind of incumbent upon me to be able to chime in and talk about this shit. So let me see what we have going on here. We got S. Lee. Today is the 21st anniversary of President Ronald Reagan's passing. Very interesting. The devil loves a game of 21. Wizards, witches, and warlocks. We used to play 21 in terms of basketball. I think we played 21 in basketball. That was the game we played. Brandon Herrera, I'm packing leave to Apple Valley. Now I'm going to be here instead of taking business. That's on me. That's my fault. Love of Scorpio. What's happening? Steve's here. Zarelith, Eternal. Rosie Rose 22. Miss Nikki. Whimsical Farm Girl. JMP. You're going to see JMP soon. David El Marita. Hola, buenas noches. Hey, we got Naturally Mother Earth. The Trump Elon thing is juicy. That's why we're all here, isn't it? Joan S. is here. The lovely and talented one. Linda Davies. Christine Godwin. Okay. So I'm going to try to use this time as efficiently as possible. Okay. So why don't we start with the chart? Okay, I'm going to get to the chart because a lot of people are saying this is all staged, it's theatrical, it's a beef. I don't think it is. I think this is something quite real, and we have the astrology to prove it. What did I say today? I said today was going to be a landmark day, right? How little did we know how landmark this day would be. And I'm going to try to connect some dots here that I think you will find interesting, to say the least. Okay, so let's start with the beef. The beefaroni. Now, I will say this. I will qualify this to a certain extent. That what we're witnessing is a conflict between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. But there's more to it than meets the eye. So let's start with the conflict, okay? Let me just make this a little bit bigger. All right, so what we have here is the synastry chart between Trump and Musk, and there was always a connection between the two. But with Musk's Venus on top of Trump's Sun and Trudeau, Uranus is the thing that makes the connection unstable. And I feel like we're seeing some of that instability as we speak. And Elon Musk is a 12th house Sun person. So he's always craving for recognition and to be seen. This is part of being a 12th house Sun. Trump doesn't have that problem. His son's in the 10th house. He likes being there, right? He likes being seen. So Elon has been quite adept in many ways at using that Venus conjunction to his sun. Again, his Venus, Elon's Venus is in his 12th house as well. So Trump, I use kind of this metaphor that Trump is like Apollo. I mean, I'll show you this. This is a picture of Trump's. This is Trump Tower. This is where Donald Trump lives. Okay, it is a shrine to Apollo. He even has Apollo in his chariot, literally crossing the ceiling, which is heaven. Right. So we know that Trump identifies with Apollo. That's easy. Right. That is an easy association. So we see also Apollo with Trump here. Right. Mars is the chariot. Like, it is the chariot. And it's in Leo and it's on his ascendant, literally guiding him across his journey through this world. So we know Trump identifies with Apollo. Musk is more like Prometheus. You know, like, he's the guy that, you know, builds the rockets and shoots them, you know, towards the heavens, right? You know, he's the guy that, you know, is almost like stealing fire and getting too close to the sun. Trump is the sun. He is the sun in Elon Musk's chart, right? That's right there. There's his Venus. And Elon gets too close to the sun. Right? This is the beef between Apollo and Prometheus. Now, if you look at Musk's Mars, and I've always wondered about this because I've looked at these charts before, and astrologers have attributed the 12th house, the 7th house, as the house of open enemies. I don't think so. I think the 6th house is the house of open enemies. Why? Because the 12th house is the house of hidden enemies. So you would literally just flip it. And there was, what was it, like back in might have been 27 or 2018. And Omarosa, who is an Aquarian, and her son is in Trump's 6th house, released a book that was supposed to be this scathing tell-all about Donald Trump, right? And so, if I'm not mistaken, it might have correlated also with the release of the book. But Omarosa is going to show up in his 6th house, which is, again, the house of open enemies. And she releases this book that nobody really buys. She doesn't really go on much of a book tour, but it's supposed to be this scathing indictment about Donald Trump. Omarosa is an Aquarian. And, like, again, that's what I'm trying to establish. Like it's really the 6th house and not the 7th house. So here's Musk's Mars, which is in Aquarius. And what do we have here today? We have transiting Mars right there in Leo in Trump's 12th house, right? So we have the hidden enemy aspect here, but in opposition to Musk's natal Mars in the 6th house, this beef is real. This is not beyond beef or better beef or any kind of vegan beef. This is real beef. This is fixed oppositional Mars versus Mars beef. It's a beef off, okay? And there's more to it than just this Mars opposition. All right. I'm just getting a thumbs up on reservations for tomorrow night or Saturday night's dinner. That was very important. All right. So there's something else going on here. There is something else happening here. And we got beyond beef. This is beyond beef. We got the real beef, but what I'm talking about or going to bring into the conversation is the beyond beef. And Donald Trump was never meant to be president for 4 years. Never. He was never meant to finish out his term. And I had noted, right, that this Mars, when it was conjunct Trump's Pluto, to pay attention to that period of time, because that was when Trump was going to be under threat of and by hidden enemies. What happened during that time? That's when James Comey did the 86-47 and got in big trouble, right? Like he was advocating for the theoretical assassination of Donald Trump. That was when Mars was conjunct at Pluto, and that was like aligned with May 15th. And I said, look at mid-May. And so we get that weird like sign in the sand. Okay. That passed. But this thing with Trump and Musk is bigger. And the plan was never to have Trump stick around for 4 years. That was never the plan. Whose son is in the 12th house? J.D. Vance. The plan is always to advance J.D. so that he could become the president. Okay. Who is J.D. Vance connected to? He's connected to Peter Thiel, Palantir, Elon Musk, right? The tech bros are behind J.D. Vance. And they want Vance to become president because they own him in more ways than they own Donald Trump. So I'll give you an example. The first time Donald Trump ran for president, Peter Thiel donated to his campaign. We can find out right now. I'll tell you. In 20, God, it seems so long ago, 2016. It's crazy. Okay. So Thiel donated $1.25 million to Trump in 2016. You may think that's a lot of money. That's not a lot of money. It's kind of Trump change. So if we go into 2024, like how much did he donate in 2024? He didn't. He didn't donate anything to Trump in 2024. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? However, he did set up J.D. Vance. It basically like a Vance style hedge fund. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so let's do this. All right, so Peter Thiel donated $15 million to J.D. Vance. However, he did it in 2022 in his Ohio Senate campaign. And I'll show you this. Let me just go to this right here. Thiel's donation supported Project Ohio Values Super PAC, which handled a large portion of Vance's campaign. It was described as the largest ever donated to a single Senate candidate. Think about that. He also played a role in recruiting other major donors for Vance, including David Sachs, who contributed $1 million, Thiel's support of Vance's campaign played a key role in his successful bid for the Ohio Senate seat. Okay, so he donated $15 million to J.D. Vance. He did not donate any money to Donald Trump in 2024. That's pretty significant. So where do you think Peter Thiel's loyalties lie with? I would say J.D. Vance and not Donald Trump. He did not donate anything in 2024 to Donald Trump. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Not only did he donate $15 million to Peter Thiel in 2022, but I'm sorry, J.D. Vance in 2022, but Peter Thiel basically set up J.D. Vance's hedge fund. Let me just put this up here. Okay, so I'm getting the yeah. So this is from July 2024. It's the Washington Post. I'm not sure if they're going to let me view this. I hate that. I hate the fucking paywall. This is CBS News. This gets into the billionaire who fueled J.D. Vance's rapid rise to the Trump VP spot. This gets back into Peter Thiel. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So let me just show this to you. I'm showing this to you because it is the proof that Peter Thiel's interest in Washington, D.C. does not lie with Donald Trump. Okay? Doesn't lie with Donald Trump. So this talks about the $12 million fundraiser. Vance has received entree to other tech mega investors. It was instrumental in organizing a $12 million fundraiser for Trump in June. That included venture capitalist Chamath Palihapitiya and early senior executive of Facebook and David Sachs, who was a key figure. So keep this in mind. It's Vance who is brokering Silicon Valley support to Donald Trump. They are not lining up for Donald Trump. Right? They're not lining up. It's J.D. Vance. After Yale Law and a short stint at corporate law firm, that is the Sibley Austin law firm that Barack Obama did a short stint at, he's kind of laying the same track. Thiel hired him to join his tech fund, Mythrill Capital, all while Vance continued to work on his memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. So he's being set up. Right, he's being made man by Peter Thiel. And then he moves to Ohio, where he started his own venture capitalist firm, heavily backed by Thiel and other elite tech investors. By then, he was flirting with a potential run for elective office, and Thiel was encouraging him. By the time Vance finally took the plunge in 2021, he had been transformed from one of Trump's most vitriolic critics, which he was. He once called Trump an American Hitler, right, into one of his most effective defenders and fundraisers. Thiel brought Vance to his very first meeting with Trump at Mar-a-Lago in February 2021. In the 2022 campaign, Thiel made $15 million in donations to Vance's super PAC. Thiel also steered at least $200,000 to Vance's super PAC from a group he controlled called Per Aspera Policy, according to the Kansas City Star and Open Secrets. Per Aspera is a dark money nonprofit, which means that its spending is used to influence elections, but it's not required to disclose its donors. In the same cycle, Vance's super PAC received hundreds and thousands of contributions from the Mercer, Ulheim, Lindner families, all staples of mega conservative political giving in recent years. It is not entirely clear what Thiel have wanted in exchange for his largesse. Thiel declined to comment on this story. So what we're trying to establish here is that Peter Thiel is a major player in J.D. Vance world, not Donald Trump world. Like, keep that in mind. So now we're seeing this beef, which is real. We're seeing the opposition to these Mars, right? So is Elon Musk like out in front of a coup with for Peter Thiel, for JD? I think some of this is just natural or organic. But there is a saying, which is never let a good crisis go to waste, which is out of the mouth of Rahm Emanuel. So I think there's something bigger going on here. I think that this could be the start of a palace coup with Donald Trump, so that J.D. Vance ultimately sits in the presidential seat at the White House. I think there is a beef between Trump and Musk. I think that Musk, with all of his Doge efforts, like Musk wanted to be Apollo, right? He wanted to be Musk was never Apollo. He was never. Donald Trump was always Apollo. He was always the favorite son of his father, right? That's like Zeus tapping Apollo on the shoulder and saying, "You're my favorite son. Your older brother," well, let's just call him Kronos. We can call him Kronos. We can just, whatever older brother, male god, we could call him Hephaestus, right? He is not the one. Like Donald Trump is the one. He is the golden one. Not John, it's Donald. So we know that, right? And Trump lives the life of Apollo. You know, he is the talk of page 6 in New York with the New York Post. He's dating supermodels. Like when he divorces Ivana, he's, betting and wedding Marla Maples and having a child, right? Like he's acting like freaking Apollo. And, he's like, there's a picture of him and let me see if I can find it. Okay, so there's a picture of Donald Trump as maybe it's with I thought it was with Cohn with let's try this. It might be Liberace. Let's see. There's a picture of Trump where he is at a nightclub. And he looks like a centurion. He looks like Apollo. I'm trying to find it. It could be, I think it's Studio 54. It could be completely wrong. I'm trying to see this from this side. I think it's Studio 54. I may have to abandon this search. But Trump has always been Apollo. Elon Musk has never been Apollo, right? Elon Musk is the furthest thing from Apollo that you can find. Elon Musk in his relationships with these tech companies is really, he's much more Promethean. Like he is literally stealing money or stealing fire from the gods. Like this is what Elon Musk is. I am not a huge fan of Elon Musk. Like he has jumped on the bandwagon of other people's products, whether it's PayPal and Peter Thiel, whether it's Tesla. Like this is what he this is what he does. Let me just try this one more time. So he is not Apollo. Trump is Apollo. And when he took office with the Pluto Sun conjunction, and he gave his State of the Union address, he was Apollo and he was Caesar. Like that is the personification of Donald Trump. So again, if we're just looking at this from a mythological perspective, this is really what we're dealing with. Let me go back to the chart. Right here. Again, right? This is just the chariot. This is the Mars and Leo. Mars is the chariot. They're literally in Leo, like the sun, like Phaeton. But this is who Trump is. And if you look at Elon Musk, Mars, it's in the 8th house, right? It's hidden, it's cloaked away. You know, this is why he wants to go into space, right? This is why he wants to escape the 8th house. He wants to escape the 12th house. That's his sun in the 12th house. And ultimately, this was not going to work out because Elon Musk was trying desperately to take credit for what Doge was doing. This is what he wanted. He wanted all these things that he found, all these discrepancies in the budget, like with all of these various organizations, NGOs, groups. He wanted to be credited for that, right? What would be the ultimate credit for that? It would be a budget bill that would be representative of everything that he found, because then Elon Musk could be Apollo, right? He could be that guy, right? He could be eye to eye with Trump. It was Doge and all the things that Doge did, which led to this bill, which would be like fiscally sound. Even Thomas Massey went to bat for Elon Musk. Okay, this is somebody that Trump doesn't really like very much. Even Thomas Massey went to bat for Elon Musk. Rand Paul went to bat for Elon Musk. Trump dumped on Rand Paul. Then it's like, you know, you don't like it and you do this and you do that, just like he did with Thomas Massey. Trump does not like his authority questioned. Okay, he doesn't like his authority questioned at all. He's big on loyalty. And there are things that Trump does that I kind of like. I think he's kind of interesting. Like, I think he's funny. I think he's a major disruptor. He's a major troll, right? But you don't question his loyalty. You don't question his authority. And this is what's happening now, right? And it's because on a surface level, right, on the beef level, on the, hey, I want to be Prometheus level, Elon Musk this was his like play to save America. He wanted that to be associated with him. And honestly, I don't think Donald Trump was ever going to make those budget cuts. Donald Trump has never been a fiscal conservative, ever. If you look at his business practice, Trump made a living off of borrowing. And in fact, some of those loans that he borrowed went belly up, and he had to be bailed out of bankruptcy, not once, not twice, I think 3 times. I know twice. I think it was 3. He had George Soros bail him out of the Trump Tower in Chicago. Yeah, that's right. You can look it up. You had to bail him out. Trump has never once ever gone after George Soros. You've never heard the name Soros cross his lips. Never. Because Trump knows, right? He knows that George Soros saved his bacon with Trump Tower in Chicago. So he's never been a fiscal conservative. Never. So anybody that thought, just look at what happened during COVID. He threw a shit ton of money, a shit ton of money into the system for all the big, beautiful corporations. And some people that weren't corporations, and they could have used the money. And I know one of them directly. And if she hadn't had that money, she wouldn't have been able to keep her business in business. But it also goes to this point, did we ever have to shut the fucking country down? And if we did it have to be for as long as it did? That's really a much bigger part of the debate. Okay. So Elon Musk got pissed. He got pissed because his great project did not result in it being a part of the big, beautiful bill. And he didn't like that. Now, there's this whole thing in there that the EV stuff was going to get cut, the EV subsidies. According to Musk, he knew about that long before it got talked about. So it wasn't like he woke up one day and found out, oh shit, Tesla's not going to get these subsidies. He knew about it. He knew about it. It wasn't like it got sprung on him. And it was this sort of dramatic reveal, and that this was the thing. This is what Trump is saying. That is the thing that pissed Elon off. Right? This is not the thing. The thing is that Elon is not getting credit for saving America and all this money. And let's face it, he's a cancer. And cancers are actually kind of good at that. That's one of those things that cancers have an innate skill with. They are good at being penny pinchers. And so I think Musk wanted some recognition there, and it ain't going to happen. Not going to happen. All right, let's talk about the Epstein stuff. All of a sudden, it went from this bill that he wasn't getting credit for to it was okay, we're going to go from a stick fight to bringing out fucking nuclear bombs. That's how fast this thing escalated. That's how fast it escalated. Now, here's the question, right? If this is what Elon Musk knew all along, then why didn't he bring it up? If he was a real conservative, which he isn't, he just kind of jumped on. Elon Musk is kind of a libertine Luciferian, okay? Let's just call it as we see it here. He's a libertine Luciferian. All Elon Musk really cares about, for the most part, is Elon fucking Musk. And in that regard, I think he shares similar traits with Donald Trump. However, at least Donald Trump had his kids organically, right? We're going to believe that Donald Trump did the dirty with Ivana, with Marla Maples, and Melania to produce organically grown children. In Elon's case, there's no guarantee he did any of that except for maybe with Grimes. So in that regard, that's very different. That's like Mars and Aquarius. That is like synthetic insemination. Trump's got Mars and Leo on the ascendant. You're going to get the full Monty, right, analog treatment with Trump when he procreates. You're not going to get that with Elon, right? Mars and Aquarius, 8th house. Okay. So again, what is up with the Epstein shit? And if he knew this, why didn't Elon Musk bring it up long ago? Like, when did Elon Musk know about Trump and Epstein? And look, Trump has a very deep relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Look, it's like Jeffrey and Ghislaine are at the same weddings that Trump goes to, whether it's Chelsea Clinton or one of Trump's kids. They are there, right? They're buddies. They're pals. Like, Trump flew on the fucking plane, okay? He flew on the plane. And they hung out at Mar-a-Lago. They were friends until Trump screwed Jeffrey Epstein out of a property. Famous story, right? Jeff Epstein said to Trump, hey, what do you think of this? I'm thinking about buying it. Trump says, I don't know. Let me look at it. Gets back to Epstein. Yeah, not a good investment. If I were you, I'd stay away from it. So Epstein does. What does Trump do? He buys the fucking property. Like, they're no longer friends after that. And there is something that I've said about Trump, and I said it from the jump with Trump. And by the way, I've never been a TDS person. I just call these things as I see them to the best of my ability. One of the first things I ever said about Donald Trump when he was running for president in 2016 is I said, you cannot trust this man. You cannot trust him. He has a Mercury, Jupiter, Neptune freaking square, right? Like, he will fuck anybody over. Anybody. Like, you could be his worst enemy and his best friend, and it does not matter. In that regard, I kind of admire Trump, right? He's very Machiavellian. Like, I expect him at some point to fuck Bibi Netanyahu over. I have no doubt that day will come, because that's who Trump is. It's who he is. So whether you're like his best buddy or his worst enemy, like, you can't trust him. You just can't trust him. He has, number one, a history of doing it, and astrologically, it is in his chart. So the Epstein thing, look, there are plenty of rumors of Trump and Epstein girls, okay? Plenty of rumors. One came up just before he was being elected or trying to get elected in 2016. And then it got sort of swept under the rug. I don't have any proof that Donald Trump was boinking 16-year-old, 15, 14-year-old girls. I don't have any proof of it. But there are plenty of other people that claim that they do. Gordon, what's his name, over at Veterans Today, has made the statement on many occasions that Donald Trump not only had sex with an underage girl, but he also killed her. Okay? Now, this is Gordon over on Veterans Today. You could go there, you could look it up, you'll find it. He's made this statement numerous. I don't have any proof, right? I have no proof, but Gordon is a guy who he claims that he's very connected to this day still to, like, the Secret Service and these other intelligence agencies, not excluding the Mossad. Okay, so Gordon is more than willing to tell you that he knows a few things based on his connections. Right, so this stuff has been around Trump for a while, right? You know, from the Virginia Giuffre and the woman who sues him just before the 2016 election to the much darker version that Gordon from Veterans Today talks about, right? It is not uncommon to have Trump and Epstein and these stories cross one's path as you're searching for deep truths on the internet. I don't have any proof. There are people that claim they have some degree of proof. They've certainly made these claims, right? But getting back to Elon Musk, if he knew this, then isn't it incumbent upon Elon Musk to have brought this up a long time ago? Or did he just conveniently put it on the shelf so that he didn't have to deal with it? Right? Like he could just maybe at some point in the future, if he needed to, use it against Trump. Or maybe he would just put it over there on that shelf so that he could advance his own agenda and become sort of the de facto Werner von Braun of the Trump administration and help Donald Trump get elected. If he knew that that's true and had proof of it, then it is completely disingenuous. And quite frankly, Elon Musk should have brought that up way sooner. But because he's somebody who doesn't create or generate his own empire or his own wealth, like he's much more Prometheus than Apollo, like he's not going to go there. He's going to piggyback on Donald Trump. He's going to piggyback on the election. He's going to turn Twitter into a free speech zone, which ultimately was going to help Trump. And it did. I don't think Trump is as a slam dunk winner if Elon Musk doesn't own Twitter, which becomes X, which allows this very pro-Trump platform to completely eviscerate Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. In fact, it got so bad that those people had to go to a different platform, right? They had to go over to Threads, which is a shitty platform. They had to go over to Blue Sky so they could all cry themselves a river, right? Like the liberals really don't hang out very much on Twitter anymore. Like Twitter has become feral. It has become, this octagon in a lot of ways, but it's the octagon of the right now slugging it out against one another. That's what it's become. The liberals are still there, but they're really not there. And this is all because Elon Musk bought Twitter and allowed, it was like, okay, in 2020, Mark Zuckerberg and all the tech people, Google, they all conspired to not let Donald Trump win. We know this. It's part of the public record, right? And so if Trump was going to win in 2024, he had to circumnavigate those people and their algorithms. Right? So how did they do that? They did it through Twitter. Elon Musk took possession of Twitter prior to the election, and it didn't matter what Mark Zuckerberg or the Google people did. Twitter became the magnet. It became the public square. And at that point in time, the public square was frothing at the mouth for Donald Trump. They wanted Donald Trump to reassume his rightful place as president. And I have gone on the record, and I believe that the election in 2020 was hijacked. I've also gone on the record that I think Trump's reaction to it was not great. His strategy that was driven by Rudy Giuliani was horrible. And I feel like he did people a disservice by having his big, beautiful rally on January 6th, which accomplished nothing. It was basically saying, hey, thank you for the support. They stole this thing, blah, 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 blah. Now peacefully go home and go back to your lives. Like, really, what the fuck good did that do? None whatsoever. What it did is it associated him with what was going to happen after that. And we know that that was all staged, right? That was your rent-a-mob, your Antifans, your feds, right? It was guys that were bad actors. And so Trump became associated with that. And then MAGA and the right and all these people became associated with that moment. That moment doesn't happen to the degree that it does if Donald Trump isn't there. I don't know why he did that speech. If he was going to do the speech, what he should have said is, get your ass over to the Capitol, go storm that fucker, and take this fucking country back. But he didn't do it. He didn't do it. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go, I'm not going to put it all the way in or whatever, right? He didn't do it. Like, I was like, wow, man, that's ballsy. This guy really is leading an insurrection, but he didn't do it. And so you had the feds basically running a fake insurrection. And Mike Pence is, the story, right? So by the time we get to 2024, people are frothing at the mouth. They are not going to let this guy fucking lose. It's not going to happen. And Elon Musk is going to provide, because nobody really goes to Truth Social. Please. People go to Truth Social or like the dyed in the wool, like, Trump supporters. I've never been to Truth Social. I know some people that go there, but really, Twitter is the public square. And that's where the election was won. It wasn't won with WikiLeaks like it was in 2016. It was won on Twitter. And it was Elon Musk's digital square and digital platform that allowed the loudest voices to be heard. And those voices were shouting Trump, right? So Musk is pretty influential here with the whole thing. And Donald Trump knows that. And so Donald Trump does what he does. He pays back his political debts, right? Sheldon Adelson gave him a shit ton of money. Sheldon said, Donald, when are you going to move the embassy to Jerusalem? And Trump says, I'll do it in the next 60 days. And he doesn't, right? With the idea that that's going to be the third temple. That's how he pays people back. Donald Trump, if you give him money and show him political loyalty, he will pay you back. He paid back Elon Musk. He said, Elon, I'm going to give you this position. It's going to be Doge. It's going to be great. You're going to be able to use your computers, your savvy, your algorithm, right? And Elon Musk ate it up. This is like Elon Musk is the biggest fucking nerd. Like the only way Elon Musk could get invited to parties in college is when he organized them with his mother. Yeah, that's what he did. Elon Musk organized parties with his mother. You know why? Because he doesn't get invited to fucking parties unless he organizes them and makes money off of them, probably also off of the sale of ecstasy and bags of weed that he's probably running as well at those parties. Nobody's inviting Elon Musk to their fucking parties, right? So when he gets to do this thing with Trump, he is now Mr. fucking popularity. Yeah, I know he's in an Iron Man movie, right? They're trying to set him up as the new Edison or the new Tesla or whatever, right? They need a replacement at some point for Bill Gates, and he's like tapped to play that role. So yeah, you could be in an Iron Man movie, wink, wink, right? Yeah, you can have this car, and they're trying to ultimately funnel things through him. He is going to be a gatekeeper, right? That's what his role is. He is going to be a gatekeeper. And what happens? Well, he figures out that he's in the fucking Truman Show. This is what happens. He's like, whoa, wait a minute, right? You're not going to like hire my person at NASA, the person I think you should hire. You're not going to hire that person? Oh, that's an insult to me. And then, of course, this EV thing happens, and eventually they sort of move him out of Doge, right? And the reason why they moved him out of Doge is, quite frankly, he was becoming insufferable. Trump said that, and I don't disagree with Trump. He was fucking insufferable. Like Elon Musk is all of a sudden believing he's Apollo and not Prometheus. And like everywhere you turn around, he's making a fucking fool of himself. Right? And he brings the chainsaw, to CPAC. Like, it's a bunch of bullshit. Like, now all of a sudden, Elon Musk is the guy. He's been liberated from his 12th house, right? His Venus is right there on top of Trump's sun. Oh, look at that. And then his sun is on top of Trump's Mercury. Trump gives him a platform. He gives Trump a platform, right? Like, this is the symbiotic relationship between the two. But at the end of the day, yes, he was insufferable. And at the end of the day, Trump played Elon Musk. I'm telling you right now, he played him. He played him. He played him like a fiddle. He got what he wanted out of him, right? He got what he wanted out of him. He gave him this position, which ultimately mattered not. At the end of the day, all the Doge stuff doesn't matter for jack shit, because this big, beautiful spending bill doesn't take any of it into account, and all the work and all the cuts and all the things that Elon Musk was supposed to be associated with are not there. It's like he never, ever did Doge. Like, it completely and utterly invalidates everything he did. And so Elon Musk may be a geek and a nerd. He may be a 12th house sun guy, but he is also not somebody who is going to be happy about that. You have seen Elon Musk get into minor beefs on Twitter. Minor beefs. Like the H1 thing, like, we need those guys. We need those foreign workers. And when somebody accused him of not being American or patriotic for preferring foreign workers over American workers, Elon Musk took that guy to task. That's minor shit. Like, he went full ballistic with that dude. And that was just for that. Now he's like, Elon Musk acts like a fucking spoiled child when he does not get his way. And he didn't get his way here. He did not get his way. Trump started turning off the Musk faucets. He didn't get his way. And now Musk is pissed. He's really, really pissed. This is real. It's real. It's right there. It's right there. So now what do we have to deal with? Okay, there are alliances here that are going to be very, very tricky. One of the people that suggested J.D. Vance as a running mate is Donald Trump's own son, Donald Trump Jr., who is close friends with J.D. Vance. Right? They're close. That's like, this is how he gets on Trump's radar. It's through his son. And J.D. Vance is completely connected to Thiel and the PayPal mafia and the tech bros. They want J.D. Vance as president. Curtis Yarvin, who is somebody that J.D. Vance really admires, really respects, right? Curtis Yarvin wants J.D. Vance to play the role of, guess what? Caesar. Like, Trump is playing Caesar now. They don't want Trump as Caesar. They don't want him as Caesar. You know why? Because Trump has weaknesses. Trump has flaws. Like, Trump, in his own way, like, can be kind of a softie. There are times when Trump is a J.D. Vance, you don't see him coming. Right? You do not see J.D. Vance coming. And I guarantee you, all those dudes, including Peter Thiel contributed to J.D. Vance's senatorial campaign. And when Trump couldn't get Silicon Valley money, who's the guy that organizes it? It's J.D. Vance, right? He is showing Trump that he has power in places Trump does not. And the reason why Peter Thiel didn't give him any money in 2024 is because he asked Trump for some things after 2016, and Trump blew him off. He blew him off. He's like, why am I going to give that guy money when I don't know what he asked for, but he didn't get shit? So who does he invest in? He invests in JD Vance. That's who he invests. This is about JD Vance. So this is where this thing is going to ultimately spiral to. Now, this is not really great for America. If you're an American, this is a really bad look on the world stage. Really, all the countries in the world are laughing at America right now. They're laughing. They're laughing at Elon Musk. They're laughing at Donald Trump. They're laughing that all of a sudden Elon Musk is accusing Trump of going to Epstein and banging teen chicks, right? They're all laughing. All of them. Zelensky's laughing. Ha, ha, ha. Europe's laughing. Russia's laughing, right? They're all laughing. Laughing, laughing, laughing. This is not good. It's not good for the country. Period. End of story. Some people will say, well, Elon Musk works for the CCP. Other people say Trump works for this. Like, I don't know who the fuck works for the CCP, except I do know that Trump does have some ties, some very deep ties to some of the Russian oligarchs. That's for a different, that is for a different podcast. What we're talking about here is the conflict and the beef. And the beef is real. It is real. And I don't think it is going to, I don't think it's going to end. Like, I think that the next level here is that Elon Musk is going to get on the phone and he's going to talk to Peter Thiel and he's going to talk to David Sachs. You may have a conversation with JD Vance, anybody in sort of that Silicon Valley world that, you know, Larry Ellison might be a part of that phone call. Larry Ellison, Sam Altman, although I think Elon Musk hates Sam Altman, so he may not be on the call. Now, for Trump, maybe he calls Larry Ellison. Maybe he calls Sam Altman. Maybe Trump starts moving like his tech bro chess pieces. This is going to be a game of Silicon Valley chess. This is where this is all going to come down to. And if for whatever reason, right, Trump is somehow dethroned as president, you're going to understand who won the war behind the scenes. Now, JD Vance is going to be put into a very interesting position because once Vance got on Team Trump, he has been completely and utterly loyal to Donald Trump. Now, he may back channel to Peter Thiel and he may back channel to Elon Musk or whoever. He may say, hey, look, I got Trump's back, but I have to get Trump's back, right? Like, he has to trust me. So I would assume that this is what JD Vance will do. Like, he will show Trump that he is very loyal. And is that loyalty born out of true loyalty, or is it born out of some kind of false loyalty, what we might call fealty, right? I think that there could be a case made for that. And remember, JD Vance's son is in Donald Trump's 12th house, right? JD Vance's son is lingering over here. He is lurking. He is lurking in the shadows of Donald Trump's chart. So I think it's shitty that they're going through this. I don't think it is a WWE thing. I think it's real. Are people going to attempt to capitalize on the chaos? Yeah. without a doubt. No doubt, without a doubt. Is Peter Thiel going to be one of them? Sure, why not? He doesn't really want Donald Trump there. We know who he wants. He wants J.D. Vance. But it's not great, right? It doesn't look, it looks like we are a house divided. I wouldn't really call it that. Like, Elon Musk doesn't represent a ton of America. There are a lot of Americans that don't like Elon Musk. But it does appear on the surface to be like a house divided. And that's never a good look for a country. Okay, that's about all I have to say. I hope you learned something here. I hope you got something out of this. If I had to pick a winner in the immediate, it would be Trump. If I had to pick a winner in the mid to longer term, it would not be Elon Musk. It would be J.D. Vance. I think that Donald Trump has way too much of the power of the populace and the people behind him. But I also think that Elon Musk is not going to take this lying down. I think that he will do everything, because he's also a spoiled little bitch. And he'll do everything in his power to rally the troops and say, fuck him. You always wanted JD anyway. How do we make this happen sooner rather than later? That's where I think he goes. So Trump is going to win. He's going to win the battle. I'm not sure he wins the war. Not sure he wins the war. It was always about JD Vance. Okay, that's it. Thanks for being here. I needed to get this on record. I said today was a day that will go down in history. I think I said that this morning, right? I think that's what I said. I said today is a day that will go down in history. And you bet your ass it will. I think I said it on the Astro Weather, if I'm not mistaken. You got to take credit sometimes for some of these things. All right, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm going to go get my sports addiction on. Robert Phoenix signing off. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to hit the like. If you're new, subscribe. We do a lot of this stuff over here, usually on Sunday night. And take care of yourself. Treat each other well. God bless. Love you all. Bye for now.